Hey, where's your fucking warrant? Where's your warrant? No, fuck you. Give me your badge and your name. Give me, beat that. Give me your badge and your name. You guys have no warrant, no probable cause. Shame on you guys. Shame on you. ¿Cuál es su nombre? Oiga, ¿cuál es su nombre? ¿Cómo se llama? Oiga, ¿cómo se llama? Dígame su nombre, oiga.
Dame su mano.
¿Cómo se llama? Dígame todo su nombre, por favor. Su nombre. Jorge qué? Fuck you guys. You guys should be ashamed. Shut the fuck up. You just Gestapo pigs. You just Gestapo fucking pigs. You should be ashamed of you. Oh, fucking Latinos. You guys.
Pinche motherfucker.
What is your people saying right now? Where's Texas? You got to be ashamed. You're going to use that gun on your people. Shame on you. I hope right now your ancestors are looking at you. Look at you right now, brother. Stand up. Stand up. How did your family get here? How did your family get here? You of all people. You don't walk away, brother. I'm good. Stay there. We can talk. We can talk. My tax money put you in school. You came here without no papers. Now you're an American. Thank you. Out of the way and pay us back. We love you, brother. Don't forget that. Everybody take a picture of you. You know why? The internet is so good. No, I'm on public property. You're going to be a movie star. You're going to be a movie star.
What the fuck are you Latino and an ICE agent? That's crazy. That is so fucking crazy to me. That's wild.
If you're a Latino and you work for ICE, you gotta be the worst human being. Just saw this video of a Latino agent arresting another Latino. Like, why? Sometimes I just can't believe my eyes. People do anything for money these days.
Okay, so I never really understood Mexicans participating in ICE raids because when you are helping ICE go after your own neighbors, you yourself don't become safe. You just become useful until they're done using you. Like some of y'all of Mexican descent are just out here cheering and assisting and even participating in raids that are literally ripping Mexican families apart. And I'm not saying this to disrespect you. I'm saying it because I'm just tired and hurt of seeing the shit. And you need the truth. The system does not reward you for being one of the good ones. It rewards you for being quiet and obedient. Today, it's them. Tomorrow, it could be you or your cousin or your auntie or, you know, a friend from church. That's how this shit works. They build a machine and they feed it more and more people until nobody is left untouched. And if you think that people in power suddenly respect you because you're helping them out, listen to their policies. Listen to the language that they use. Watch who gets targeted. Watch who gets called criminals. Watch who gets treated like disposable labor. Because that's what you need to pay attention to. I get it that some folks are scared. Some folks want to fit in. Some folks got in a job thinking that they can't say no. But hear me out. A paycheck is not worth your soul and approval from a system like this that is not built to protect you. If you want to be a patriot, protect your community, protect due process, protect children from trauma, protect the families from being torn apart, because freedom that only works for some people is not freedom. It's a trap.
It's shocking that 64% of ICE agents, they are Latinos. And what happens when a system teaches you to hunt your own people and then still reminds you that you are never meant to belong? So in today's topic, we are going to discuss how the system recruits you, uses you, and then discards you, all while turning communities against themselves. So let's get to the reactions, then I'll come back with more commentary. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments, alright? Let's dive into it.
Has anyone else noticed that a lot of these ICE agents and or Border Patrol agents are Latino? They are actively being dispatched to hunt down and deport other Latino people. But of course, not just Latino people are being deported. There are also plenty of Black people being deported, but I specifically want to talk about Latinos for this video. So my question is, like, how are they able to convince these ICE agents to hunt down these Latino people to deport them, despite them being Latino themselves? And I feel like this question diverges into two categories. Either the Latino ICE agents have a internalized self-hate towards their own people, or if they are just doing this to be able to survive the American system and move upward in social mobility. An incentive that Latino people could find in deportation is the fact that they could make their racial category more close to whiteness, essentially making their race more clean from a capitalist perspective, because they are getting rid of that association with illegality by getting rid of the illegal Latinos, because illegality in itself is a racially charged category. Whenever people bring up the term illegal immigrant, they tend to implicitly associate it with either Latino or black people, despite a lot of white people being illegal as well. Whenever these white politicians bring up these white South African refugees, they never call them illegal because they racialize the category for black and Latino people. But then this also links to the other part that I talked about earlier, the survival within the system. A lot of Latino people that are working in ICE may want their racial category to be not associated with illegal immigrants, so they are able to excel financially or socially. As long as they are linked with the category of illegal, it is going to be much harder to get stable wages. It's going to be much harder to evolve socially, because there are going to be those stereotypes and connotations associated with their racial category as long as illegal people are still in America. But little do they know, if we get rid of the illegal immigrants, that negative connotation regarding their race is still going to be there. This is an internalized hatred that exists at the psychological level. They will actively work to deport their own people, but in reality not benefit from it, because we still have institutionalized racism. Getting rid of illegal immigrants is not going to make the category of Latino look better. Since we are still in a racist system, it will take systemic change to be able to get rid of that negative outlook on Latino people.
To all you self-hating Latinos that like to say, they're criminals, they came here illegally. If they commit the crime, they need to do the time.
What time? You don't get time for jaywalking. You don't get time for speeding. You don't get time for a parking ticket. It's not how civil offenses work. Learn the law first.
You're comparing a criminal offense to a civil offense.
Two different things and two different offenses.
You're comparing hardworking people that get up and work from sunup to sundown to provide for their family to people that touch little kids, to people that unalive people. That is not the same thing.
And let's not try to push the agenda. It's not about race. It's all about race, because I'm not seeing any other but one race being targeted. People that look like me, you're doing just fine. I don't think you've even got questioned.
Let's not forget who the real criminal is. You guys like to talk about crime. Criminal this, criminal that. Always labeling people of color as criminals. But who is the real criminal? And instead of pointing fingers at people, mocking people, laughing at their struggles, how about you try to have empathy for once?
Why are there so many Latinos who work for ICE and Border Patrol? Let's get into it. So you might think that being part of an industry that targets our communities would make it difficult to work within them, but somehow that's not the case. Recently, a reporter in El Paso interviewed Dr. David Cortez, who is an expert on why Latinos decide to work in ICE and Border Patrol. And his learnings may or may not surprise you. So first off, Latinos make up about 18% of the overall US population, but when it comes to enforcement agencies and even the military, Latinos are overrepresented. So even though Latinos make up just 8% of the overall federal workforce, Latinos make up 30% of all ICE agents and over 50% of all Border Patrol officers. And in El Paso, that number jumps up to 78% Latinos in ICE as employees. So what gives? Why are they doing this? According to the research conducted by Dr. Cortez, a lot of it has to do with income and also survival. So in this article, the reporter writes, I felt weird saying the reporter, I had to look up the name. It's Aaron Colohan, okay? Aaron Colohan. So anyway, the reporter says that in El Paso, there's about 20% of the people who live there are living in poverty. And also 20% of the people there have college degrees and access to higher paying jobs. And so the idea here is that a federal job with good benefits, with a uniform that people believe brings respect, is their version of an American dream. So a lot of people are joining these organizations for economic stability, and also because they, somewhere in their mind, believe that they can make a difference in these institutions, even though that may not be the case. And they do acknowledge that there's a lot of gray area between the mandates that come from above and what they wish they would be able to do. By the time that people realize that the agency is not going to let them make change from within, it's too late. They're trapped in by the higher wages. And, you know, they really do believe, a lot of these folks really do believe that immigrants are safer because of their presence there. So what Dr. Cortez found in his research is that a lot of these officers understand that what their agency is doing is harmful to their communities. But at the same time, they are not in a position where they can change those mandates. So how exactly is it that you can exist in two worlds and not betray one or the other? I don't know, man. It sounds like hella cognitive dissonance to me.
Okay, this is the reason why a lot of Mexicans turn into ICE agents. I'm going to tell you guys why. Because some of these Mexicans, the minute they get a green card or U.S. citizens right away, they turn MAGA. They're all Republican. They're all about deporting other Mexicans. And the reason why they do that is because a lot of Mexicans have a lot of self-hatred within themselves. They don't accept themselves. They don't love themselves for being brown. Some Mexicans are ashamed of being like indigenous or having like the stereotypical indigenous features and whatnot. And not only that, but you know how America, Hollywood, and you know what I mean? Pretty much like for the past decade, people stereotype or think that Mexicans are and whatnot. And just like the very stereotypical, you know what I mean? Like always the Mexicans this, that, and the other. And even like from other Latinos, you know what I mean? From other South American, maybe Caribbean people, you know what I mean? Like, so this has been so portrayed on Mexicans that a lot of Mexicans have built self-hate for being brown. And then once they have like a green card or get U.S. citizenship, all of a sudden they want to assimilate to the white culture, this and that and the other. But it's not specifically trying to assimilate or be white. It's just more the discrimination, whether stereotypical or immigration status or economic status, whatever, you know what I mean? But we all know the heat that other Mexicans have received in this country for a long time. So these people just go vote MAGA right away, guys. And it goes to show that based on the point that I just said, that even before, when these people don't have papers or anything, and they work with other Mexicans that don't have papers or whatnot, they'll trample another Mexican. They'll throw another Mexican under the bus. Try to like diss them, you know what I mean, in the workplace, this and that and the other, hate on other Mexicans, just, you know what I mean, like and that's the thing, you know what I mean, like not a lot of our community talks about that. Like for me, I've experienced more love from other Latinos from other countries than my own, honestly, you know what I mean. Like just when I was in high school, I had a lot of Mexican friends. And I never experienced that, like hate from other Mexicans, but there'll be a couple of them that they'll give themselves away. Like it screamed, look at me, I don't have papers. You know what I mean? Just like the ignorant ways that they will think, like having like thinking like they're like these narcos, or like their mentality, the way they will speak, like, you know what I mean? Like you could tell like the background that they come from, you know what I mean? And I'm not nobody to judge, but it's like those Mexicans, the ones that don't be having papers, the ones that be driving drunk, burning tires, having with the sombrero and the modelo, and acting like big and bad narcos. The ones that that's all they know. That's all they know. What, you know what I mean? That's the only thing that they could ever like do besides work and do that and be that.
If you're married to an ICE agent and you're watching this, because I know that some of you are watching from the shadows and you're scared for your little hubby because it's getting ugly out there, good. I hope you're scared, and I hope that you're texting him every 2 minutes to make sure that he's okay. And when he doesn't respond because he's too busy tearing families apart, I hope you feel it in your soul. But just know this, that fear you feel as the wife of a bootlicker is not even 1/5 of the fear that all of these innocent people are living with right now. And they didn't choose that life. That life of fear, these innocent people didn't choose that life. It was handed to them by a system that is broken. But you know who chose that life? Your husband.
And if an ICE agent is Latino and looks Latino, well, they arrest them too?
So, enjoy your freedom while it lasts.
It's taken me multiple years to fully understand the self-hatred that is so deeply rooted within the Latino community. And I especially see this with older Latinos that were born outside of the US, but I'm also still seeing it within Latinos that are young and were born here. For example, whenever I tell white Americans that if the Republican Party had better stances on immigration, I think they would have more of the Latino vote. And not only that, I mean, you still see Latino for Trumps, which is mind-boggling to me. And I think a lot of people fail to realize that the older generation is incredibly conservative. They are deeply rooted in Catholicism, and so with that comes a lot of those conservative beliefs. Another thing that I find is that once Latinos are able to gain citizenship, they will quickly turn on their people. I'm not like trying to trash like my mom or dad, but I hear them constantly say about like, we came here the right way, whatever that means for them. It boggles my mind, because they out of everyone, they should know how broken the immigration system is. And my parents are retired now, and I heard them talking about Venezuelans and how they're taking jobs, and I just came in and I was like, you're retired. Does it even bother you? Or like, it doesn't harm you in any way right now? And they just, they kind of ignore me when I make these comments. But also, I still like see this like self-hatred sometimes, even within the younger generation that were born here. So for example, my dad's side, a lot of them, my cousins are US born Americans, Latinos, but they work for Border Patrol. And it's like, just grandma was an immigrant, and it boggles my mind. I've also seen it with my brother. He has a lot of deeply rooted hatred for his community. And maybe I'll make more videos about this and what I've kind of discovered, but basically this all stems down to colonization within Latin America, and how much this affects the Latino community is insane to me. But anyways, maybe this is a controversial topic and I'll ruffle some feathers, but let me know what your thoughts are.
The system does not recruit loyalty, it recruits utility. It does not reward identity, it rewards obedience. And history has shown us over and over again that when a system is done using you, it does not hesitate to discard you. Many Latino ICE agents are told directly or indirectly that wearing the uniform means safety, that enforcing the law means acceptance, that proximity to power equals protection. But what they're really being sold is an illusion. The illusion that being one of the good ones will override how the system ultimately categorizes you. And here is the uncomfortable truth. The system does not see you as an individual. It sees you as a function. You are useful until you're not. The same system that empowers you to terrorize your own community today will turn around tomorrow and remind you that your last name, your accent, your skin tone, or your family history still places you outside the circle of true belonging. Power never forgets who it considers disposable. This is not new. This is not shocking. This is colonial strategy. Empires survive by outsourcing violence to the oppressed. They train some to police others. They elevate a few to control the many. They promise dignity in exchange of betrayal, and then act surprised when communities fracture under the weight of that manipulation. This is how divide and rule works. You are told that your neighbor is a threat. You are told that survival requires separation. You are told that distancing yourself from your people will earn you respect. But what it actually earns you is temporary usefulness, because the system does not reward loyalty. It rewards silence, compliance, and enforcement. Once enforcement is complete, once the damage is done, once communities are destabilized and trust is broken, the system moves on. It's always done. And when that happens, the uniform doesn't protect you. The badge doesn't shield you. The obedience doesn't erase your origin. History is full of examples where collaborators believed they were different until they weren't. The most tragic part is the emotional and psychological cost this leaves behind. Children watching their own people enforce fear. Families torn apart by those who share their language, their culture, their roots. A deep internalized message being sent. We will hurt ourselves before we challenge power. This is why self-hatred is such a powerful weapon. When a system convinces you that your community is a problem, you stop questioning the system itself, and that is exactly what it wants. Because a divided community never unites, a distracted community never organizes, a fearful community never resists. So let this be a warning, not just to Latino ICE agents, but to anyone who believes assimilation into oppressive systems guarantees safety. It doesn't. Real power does not come from betraying your community. Real safety doesn't come from policing your own people. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.